Hi, everyone. We're going to jump into how smartphones impact our brains. So it'll be a quick dive. Let's go. First, we have to start with your amazing brain. Now, the human brain is fascinating and it does some pretty cool things, but it's only 3 pounds. And out of that 3 pounds, 75% of your brain is water. Now, what's fascinating is that 3 pound organ uses 20% of your daily calories a day. It's the hungriest organ you have. And it's so hungry because the brain signals in your brain are traveling 286 miles an hour. Now, this is on a great day. Why is sleep so important? Well, your brain is actually most active when you're asleep. It's cleaning up the toxins from the day and putting all your learning together. Those 96 billion neurons have 100 trillion connections, which produces 25 watts of energy. It's very active. Okay, look at this picture. What do you see? Most people see the Mona Lisa. Some people see a pile of dirty laundry. What's fascinating is our brain is pattern seeking, and those patterns are what helps us to figure out the world. We like predictability, we like routines. And when things aren't predictable, we start to get a little nervous. The human brain is also an organ that develops with social connections. When you're born, the brain is only 33% the size it will be when you're an adult, meaning it is a social organ. It develops in context with relationships and it truly enjoys being connected. That's what it needs to survive. Now, the human brain also is not made to think big thoughts. The human brain is actually made to keep us alive. In fact, it will actually focus on the negative. It does this as a means of survival. You have 60,000 thoughts a day, and 80% are negative. They're on repeat. We like to call those ants or automatic negative thoughts. So when you have an ant, just stamp it out. But remember, your brain is survival oriented, meaning it's looking for the threats and it's doing this to keep you alive. It's not made to think big thoughts, it's there to keep you alive. So, when we have these three pieces of information, what do we do with this? Well, we know that our brain is pattern seeking, and our platforms find what we like and they give us a constant feed of that. And that also is what keeps us coming back for more. We like our routines. It's a social organ, so we want to be accepted, even virtually. In fact, being rejected from a virtual group has the same impact on our brain as being rejected in a group that's in front of us. And remember, our brains are survival oriented. So a social media will sometimes create an us versus them mentality, and it creates that threat. So we keep going back for more. And this is how tech uses our traits to keep us looking. So, what else helps? Well, there's some brain chemicals that also are involved when we use our phones. First, serotonin. Serotonin is one that, when we look at our phone, the blue light drops serotonin. It's actually what helps us sleep. It actually what helps us to get that good sleep to clean up our brain. It makes us feel confident. Think about when you're doing a task and you have a lot of confidence. That's serotonin. Your cell phone will actually drop that. The next is oxytocin. In real life relationships, we have eye to eye contact. We get a hit of oxytocin, and oxytocin is keeps us connected. It actually also repairs some stress from our day in our body. The cell phone, we can't get oxytocin with that unless we do FaceTime or we hear a human voice. Finally, dopamine. Oh, dopamine is our neurochemical that makes us keep going. It's what keeps us going after the reward. We get it when we win a big race, or we get it when we're chasing something. But dopamine is also the chemical for addiction, and our cell phones are made to keep us looking for dopamine. They're made to help that dopamine rush. So, why is dopamine bad? Well, it can be bad or it can be good. When we're on our cell phones, we can have what's called a dopamine crash, meaning we get a spike and then it drops. And this can lead to us looking for a spike again, which looks for addiction. It can lead to lack of motivation because all we're doing is looking for our next dopamine hit. And it can also make us sad, leads to decreased happiness. This depression can set in because another chemical is released called tachykinins. And tachykinins are the predecessor to depression. You see, our brains don't know what to do with social media. Our brains don't know how to connect. So we have to train our brain or someone else will. And the deal is the more you know, the smarter you are. So what can you do to get control of your cell phone habits, your cell phone addictions, maybe? There's some simple steps you can take, and all of them are rooted in science. So let's talk about how to take control. First, have face to face conversations with people. Get oxytocin naturally. That's what's going to connect you, that's what's going to excite you. Okay? Have those face to face conversations. Decrease your screen time. Look at your screen time usage each week and say, this week I'm going to drop it by 10% or 20%, or I'm just going to drop it. Challenge yourself. Do something without your phone. Limit your screen time before bed. Remember, the blue light in your phone drops serotonin. You're not getting good sleep. Get your sleep so your brain can do the repair work it needs. Turn your phone to grayscale. There's some neat science behind this, that if we look at our phone and the apps aren't brightly colored, we're not as engaging with it. So even those brightly colored apps make us touch our phone. Set daily limits on your phone. Say, I'm only going to use my phone for an hour in the morning or an hour in the evening. Stick to those daily limits. Take control. You need to be in control of the use. It's a phenomenal tool. Actually, popcorn brain is something that happens a lot. Instead of us reading a book or staying focused on something for 25 minutes, we actually like to jump, and cell phones do that. It's called popcorn brain. Finally, use your phone for good. Post videos of service projects or things people can help in the community. How can you use your phone for a tool of good? At the end of the day, you just got to remember you're in control. It's a tool. You aren't the tool of the companies that program this phone. You use the phone as your tool. And by doing that, you can actually help your brain become healthier and not become addicted to cell phones. Hope this helped.